I was raised in a junkyard. I mean, my home was just a mile away from a real big junkyard. And as a kid, I used to go in that junkyard and sit for whole afternoons driving the old cars. You know, in my mind, I was going everywhere, so, you know, shifted the gears. And I took my little trips in those cars, old Packards and Buicks and Chevys and Fords and Plymouths, Oldsmobile, any kind I wanted to drive, they were out there. And there's a lot of stories in those cars. And when I walk up to an old car, I just stop and listen, see if I hear any stories. I can make it for a day or two without you, and maybe I can make it through the night. I can laugh, I can drink, probably be alright till the morning. What am I gonna do with the rest of my life? The way I started writing songs as a kid was that, you know, I remember being out on the farm, and I would be singing it like Hank Williams song, like jambalaya, coffee, pine, Billy Gumbo. And I forget the words, so I guess I made up some words. I guess I was writing other people's songs, rewriting them before I started writing them. Golden brown, texture like sun, lays me down with my mind. She runs throughout the night. No need to fight, never a frown with golden brown.
I was a disc jockey at WOKK Radio in Meridian, Mississippi. And records started, of course, records came in the radio station for disc jockeys to review and listen to. And I saw records on Dan or records that were written by Dan on a label called Fame. And so that was the first introduction I had to Dan Penn.
I like nice clothes, cool shoes, money to burn, Jaguar man, wanna be a Jaguar man, Jaguar man, wanna be a Jaguar man.
In Muscle Shoals, there were a lot of bands playing in the early 60s. And at the same time, Rick Hall started his recording studio in Muscle Shoals called Fame Recording Studios. And some of the guys who played in the bands would go and work on Rick's sessions.
Dan was writing at the Rick at the time, him and Spooner. And I met Dan, he was singing with the Fairlanes. We got this little, great little band. I'll have to say these guys are some of the best musicians ever was. And they could play. And at that time, I guess I could sing. I mean, I had all my switches on anyway.
The Fame rhythm section, David Hood, Barry Beckett, Roger Hawkins, and Jimmy Johnson were the Fame staff band, and they decided to go into business for themselves and bought a building over on Jackson Highway in Sheffield, Alabama, and started their own studio and named it Muscle Shoals Sound.
Within the first few months, they recorded a hit for Atlantic Records, which was Take a Letter Maria, R.B. Greaves. And that, of course, they already had an association with Jerry Wexler and the people at Atlantic, so Jerry started sending people down there to record, and it was just after that, the rest is history, and all it got around, and then the Rolling Stones came in '69.
I was born in
Alabama 60 years ago, under the sign of Scorpio. I don't waste my time with foolish chatter. All I'm trying to do, y'all, is just try to matter. May not like my look, you may not like my style. There ain't a thing I can do about it, so bear with me a while. Something funky going on. There's something funky going on. It sounds something like
When that first rhythm section decided to leave and go to Nashville to make it big, then a new rhythm section moved in, and that was Spooner and Roger Hawkins on drums, Spooner on keyboards, Roger Hawkins on drums, Junior Lowe on bass.
I said, you know, these guys are going away to Nashville. Poor me, I'm going to stay down here in Muscle Shoals. Didn't seem too cool, you know. But I sat in my car out in front of the studio one night. I said, well, that's all right. Let them go, because really, I bet this is going to be good for me, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to try to start another group or get in a group. I'm kind of tired of that. I think I'm going to go in that building, and I'm going to learn everything I can about what makes it all go on.
All day up and down the street, looking for him. I know they think I'm crazy, but I'll ask them once again, where's Eddie? I've been all over town. Hey, mister, has he been around?
I just cut records that I like. I did in the beginning, and I still do, if I can. If I can cut a record that I like, that's as good as I can do.
I'm leaving Memphis on a slow-moving train.
First time I ever saw Dan Penn, and I had heard his demos and stuff. I thought he was black. I really thought he was a black R&B guy.
Have to swim the Nile. See you in Chicago after a while.
When BB wasn't on the road, his band played in a place called Plantation Inn over in West Memphis, Arkansas, across the bridge. And I would go over there and sit in with them, but I wasn't allowed on stage because of the racial thing back then. So they'd let me get behind the curtain, and I'd plug in an amp, and I'd play with the band, but it was a white club with BB's band playing, and I don't know, maybe the Rednecks would have given me a thrashing for playing with the black band. I don't know what that was, but anyway, it wasn't cool at that time.
Toombs County Farm, 34. Jack Boss laying dead down the Cotton Road. Long John's running, where's it gonna go? I bet he's gone down to the Sapelo. His mama's over on the Sapelo.
When Martin Luther King got killed, that definitely changed the vibe. It changed everything. I mean, no longer were you, we wasn't in the studio for a while. It was a big shock to the whole country, not just to the blacks, but to the whites as well. I know when we was writing rhythm and blues, it's just a whole different window. There was just something special about knowing that a black man or a black lady was going to cut your song next Tuesday.
Dan Penn will be remembered for writing so many soul classics. You'll be happy if you just write one classic. Dan Penn was in on Do Right Woman, Dark End of the Street, I'm Your Puppet, Cry Like a Baby, Let's Do It Over, and just so many huge influential stuff. Like Dark End of the Street, one of the greatest records ever recorded.
I didn't write for country people. I wrote for black people. That's all I had on my mind. I thought I was black. You know, that's just the way I felt. I know now I'm not.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Say it's all right.
Say it's all right.
It's all right to have a good time, 'cause it's all right.